Yuki is a loner who spends his time texting in his cell phone diary, playing darts and talking to his imaginary friend, Deus Ex Machina, the god of time and space. One morning, he finds his diary entry for the day filled in already, and the events recounted in the diary strangely start coming true. Yuki is then startled upon learning that Deus is an actual deity, who reveals to Yuki that his diary can now predict his future, but also warns him that he will die if his diary is destroyed. As Yuki starts using the diary to his advantage, he is approached and stalked by model student Yuno Gasai, who possesses the second future diary, which foretold his death at the hands of his homeroom teacher Takao Hiyama, secretly a serial killer who owns the third future diary. As Yuno helps Yuki evade Takao, Yuki is able to hit Takao's cell phone with a dart, causing Takao to vanish into a vortex. Afterwards, Deus summons a congress and explains the rules of the survival game to the remaining 11 future diary holders, including Yuki and Yuno, in which they all must try to kill each other in order to win the right to succeed him. Meinin Yuryu, a terrorist and the 9th future diary holder, holds the school hostage, having rigged its corridors with motion sensor bombs. As Yuki combines his ability to predict everything happening around him with Yuno's ability to predict everything happening to Yuki himself, the two manage to evade danger until Meinin threatens to detonate all the bombs unless Yuki is handed over to her. Yuki is captured by his classmates, angering Yuno, who runs down the corridors and causes several classrooms to explode on purpose. Yuki and Meinin are soon confronted by police officer Kigo Kurusu, the 4th future diary holder who is able to predict crimes. Kigo, who is Meinin's true target, reveals he is not interested in the survival game and just wants to stop criminals. Yuno, Kigo, and all the classmates work together to distract Meinin, allowing Yuki to throw a dart at her future diary cell phone. However, Meinin dodges it, injuring her left eye and uses her ability to escape. In the aftermath, Kigo forms an alliance with Yuki and Yuno to stop the other future diary holders. Kigo sends Yuki and Yuno to an amusement park to act as bait for Meinin. When Yuki asks Yuno why she keeps following him around all day, she reminds him of when they first met 1 year earlier. Yuki was depressed over his parents' divorce, and Yuno offered to marry him in the future to cheer him up. Although Yuki realizes Yuno is still hiding something from him, she refuses to divulge anything more. That night, Yuno invites Yuki to stop by her house. While searching for the bathroom, he opens a bizarre door to a room containing 3 decomposed corpses, an act which changes the future of every future diary holder drastically and causes a causality continuum breakdown, much to Deus's excitement. Terrified, Yuki runs home, only to find Yuno right outside his door. Meanwhile, Meinin finds evading the police difficult, despite her ability to secure escape routes. Exhausted and cornered, she is approached by a mysterious man who offers to save her and takes her to a hut in the woods. There, he reveals himself as a future diary holder, drugging and torturing her to get information on other future diary holders. Yuki is unable to tell anyone about the corpses he saw in Yuno's house, fearing Yuno will find out through her diary. The next day, Yuki, Yuno, and Kigo visit the Omekata cult, where Meinin is being held prisoner underground. The cult's leader, Tsubaki Kasagano, who is the 6th future diary holder with the ability to view from a scroll what is seen by her followers, foretells her own death by the end of the day. Since Yuki has already evaded death twice, Tsubaki asks for him to stay with her for the night in exchange for handing over Meinin, which he accepts, much to Yuno's resentment. At night, Tsubaki's followers fall under the mind control of the 12th future diary holder, Yamatsu Hirosaka, a blind and insane man bearing a large one-eyed mask who captured Meinin and close in on Yuki, Yuno, and Tsubaki. Yuno starts hacking at the followers with an axe and poses an ultimatum to Yuki, that is to either join her or die. In a flashback, Tsubaki became the priestess of the Omekata cult after her parents fooled people of her clairvoyance, but she was raped by the male followers after her parents died in a car accident and lost a ball that once belonged to her mother that helped maintain her sanity. In the present, as Yuki, Yuno, and Tsubaki flee, they are halted by Yamatsu with 4 hypnotized cult members dressed like him, who explain that he used the diary from his tape recorder to find Tsubaki, intending to kill her using an explosive device inside of him. Since Yamatsu is blind, Yuno manages to tell him apart from the others and kill him. After Tsubaki reveals to Yuki and Yuno that her plan all along was to kill them, Yuno manages to cut off Tsubaki's right hand and give Yuki her cell phone before collapsing from exhaustion and being captured. Yuki manages to avoid detection using both diaries, but Tsubaki lures him out by announcing Yuno will be raped and killed by her followers. He manages to reach Yuno in time, but Tsubaki gloats that her scroll will predict his every action as long as he is in sight of her followers. Yuki throws Tsubaki's ball he found earlier figure up in the air, causing all of her followers to look at it. As her diary is rendered useless, Yuki then throws a dart at her scroll and pierces it, causing her to vanish and allowing Yuki and Yuno escape. Meanwhile, Mainin, who was released by Yamatsu, later gets captured by Kigo, who eventually lets her go in return for her contact information. Knowing from her diary that Yuki's mother, Rei Amano, is coming home from work abroad as a video game programmer, Yuno breaks into his house with the intention of introducing herself to Rei. Despite Yuki's efforts, Rei and Yuno meet and take a liking to each other, sharing a good dinner and viewing Yuki's baby pictures, much to his embarrassment. Elsewhere, Mainin gets her eye checked and catches sight of a few little kids, especially one in particular. That night, Yuno reveals to Yuki that her diary predicts they will become one on July 28th, and tells him she will do anything to make sure that future comes to pass. The next day, Rei brings home a young boy whose parents were killed at the Omekata cult incident, Ryusuk Hoju, who, unbeknownst to everyone, is a future diary holder. Ryusuk, the fifth future diary holder who owns a coloring book to predict morning, noon, and night, makes several attempts to kill Yuki and Yuno, but the two of them thwart his attempts, soon realizing who he is. Yuki searches vigorously for Ryusuk's diary in vain, while Yuno insists killing him would be faster. Yuno gives up and starts chasing Ryusuk around the house with a hammer and accidentally hits Rei in the head and knocks her out. Yuno figures out that Ryusuk has mailed his diary to himself in order to hide it and has Yuki intercept the delivery, but he falls prey to a nerve gas trap hidden in the envelope. Ryusuk challenges Yuno to a hide-and-seek game inside the house filled with nerve gas, promising the antidote if she manages to capture him. Although Yuno evades numerous traps set by Ryusuk, she eventually finds herself at his mercy. However, Yuki intervenes, injuring Ryusuk with a dart and giving Yuno the resolve and opportunity to finish him off. Yuki and Yuno collapse before managing to use the antidote, but Mainin, who has been informed about the situation from Kigo, appears and saves them. As she walks away, she says that Yuki must kill Yuno as soon as possible before Yuno becomes his worst enemy. Karyudo Tsukishima, the 10th future diary holder, requests to transfer his diary's ownership when Deus calls a meeting for the 8 surviving future diary holders. 2 weeks after Ryusuk's disappearance, Yuki and Yuno transfer to a new school, while a series of brutal murders has been terrorizing the area. After school, Yuki and Yuno sneak in one of the crime scenes with Yuki's classmates Uji Kosaka, Hinata Hino, and Mao Nanosaka. When Hinata wanders off, Yuki's diary predicts her being attacked. Yuki rushes everyone to the scene, where they find Hinata's body before a pack of vicious dogs. A strange boy named Aru Akise appears and leads everyone to a nearby observation tower. Aru explains that he is one of Yuki's classmates and that he has been investigating the strange events in which Yuki keeps getting involved. Despite Yuno's mistrust in everyone, Yuki decides to reveal the existence of his diary in order to defend the group against the dogs. After the dogs suddenly retreat, Mao takes Yuki's diary at knife point and hands it to Hinata, who is alive and well. After it is learned that Hinata is a future diary holder, she reveals that her real target is Aru, suspecting him as a future diary holder. A week ago, Hinata received her diary with the ability to control dogs on her command from her dog breeder father Karyudo, who wanted her to eliminate Aru. In the present, Aru challenges Hinata to guess which hand he is hiding a coin in, with his diary as the forfeit. Despite using Yuki's diary, Hinata loses and has to release Yuki. However, Yuno realizes that Aru is not a future diary holder, relying on bluff and observation instead. Aru proposes one more round of his game, with Yuki's diary on the line. He manages to guess correctly this time, seeing that Yuki's diary predicts what only Yuki perceives. Mao attempts to destroy Yuki's diary, but Yuno injures her. Yuki, Yuno, Aru, and Kosaka leave the park, while Hinata uses her diary to send the dog pack after them. Before Yuki decides to reason with Hinata, Yuno reaches her first and threatens to kill her. To pacify Yuno, Yuki is forced to declare her as his girlfriend. Karyudo communicates with everyone via radio, explaining that he mistook Aru as a future diary holder, and after he warns Yuki about Kigo, who kills Karyudo. While making bombs for Kigo, Mainin remembers the time when she was captured by a detective named Masumi Nishijima while confronting Takao. Although they developed a rapport as they evaded and defeated the killer, Mainin ended up knocking Nishijima out to escape. Aru sets up Yuki and Yuno on a date to a bridal fair for a mock wedding, where they meet Kigo's wife, Naoko Kurusu, while he investigates Yuno's house. When Yuki and Yuno return, they find Aru at the door of the room with the corpses. However, the wall is demolished and the corpses are buried in a deep hole in Yuno's garden. Even though this is Yuno's doing, she has no recollection of the event, nor of Yuki visiting her house before. Aru theorizes that Yuno's mental balance is so fragile that she modified her own memories as a defense mechanism. Meanwhile, Kigo frames Yuki and Yuno as suspects for his murder of Karyudo. 6 days ago, Kigo forms an alliance with Mainine, promising to stop pursuing her and asking her to take care of his terminally ill son, Yukurusu, if he is eliminated from the survival game. In the present, Yuki and Yuno get arrested by Nishijima and brought to Kigo. In the interrogation room, Kigo forces Yuki to play a rigged game of Russian roulette with his service revolver. Alerted to Kigo's treachery by her diary, Yuno knocks out the detectives guarding her and steals their guns. Just before Yuki gets shot, Yuno breaks into the room, injures Kigo, and leaves with Yuki. Panicking, Yuki shoots at one of the policemen pursuing them. Kigo planned for Yuki and Yuno to commit these crimes so that their actions can be detected by his diary. Trapped on the police station's roof, Yuki and Yuno jump off, but a truck's tarp breaks their fall. The next day, Yuki and Yuno are hiding from the police when they notice Naoko visiting a hospital. When they follow her, they get ambushed by Mainine, who explodes part of the floor. After Yuki accidentally causes more of the floor to collapse, Mainine allies with Yuki in order to have Yuno pull them both to safety, incurring Kigo's wrath in the process. With their deaths foretold in all 3 diaries, Mainine takes Yuki and Yuno to the room where Kigo's dying son and wife are. With the police surrounding the hospital, Mainine takes Naoko and Yu hostage and tries to bargain with Kigo, but Kigo refuses to negotiate and seeks to win the survival game by himself. Yuki gets captured by the police inside the hospital, but Yuno appears holding a stun grenade when Kigo tries to apprehend him, and she shoots 5 policemen who don't even attempt to stop her. She detonates the stun grenade, knocking all 3 of them unconscious. Meanwhile, after setting a timed bomb which went off shortly after the flash grenade detonated, Mainine tries to escape the hospital, only to run into Nishijima. After Mainine explains to Nishijima about the deal she and Kigo made and how he framed Yuki and Yuno, the two rush back into the hospital. Yuki regains consciousness and tries to shoot at Kigo, but he uses Yuno as a shield. Despite his diary predicting he will kill Yuno if he shoots, Yuki refuses to give up, proclaiming his love for her. The future somehow changes and Yuki gets a clean shot at Kigo. Mainine arrives with Nishijima, who places Kigo under arrest. Kigo now has a nullified diary, as he is now the criminal. After learning his family has been rescued, Kigo asks Mainine to take care of his son, apologizes to Yuki, and breaks his own diary, removing himself from existence. Yuki and Yuno are exonerated even though they shot and seriously injured many people thanks to files Kigo left behind, while Mainine escapes yet again. A few days later, Aru sends Yuki a text message warning him about Yuno, but she intercepts and deletes it.
Subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Thank you for watching.